Next question today is from Aaron. Aaron says, regarding the documentary Poverty Inc., I realize that they don't address medical assistance to these countries. What's your opinion on missionary doctors? How useful are organizations such as Doctors Without Borders? Is providing free healthcare to countries with a need of this service eventually detrimental to the very same countries? Yeah, so background. I recommended the film Poverty Inc., and what Poverty Inc. exposes is that many times a lot of the efforts you see from companies and NGOs to help other countries in the long term may not be that useful. And an example was, not to pick on them, but Tom's Footwear donates a pair of shoes to a poor country for every pair that is sold or something like that. And the argument is, listen, it's great that people who don't have shoes are getting some shoes. But when you're just donating shoes on an every once in a while basis to these countries, you're really not allowing, you're actually preventing the local shoemaking industry from flourishing. And if you take a step back, are countries going to get out of poverty if some other company from another country sends shoes for the people there? Or are they going to do a better job of trying to raise themselves out of poverty if they develop a supply and demand economy internally where shoes are both being purchased and people can afford buying shoes? That's a sort of big picture argument. The question from Aaron is, okay, given that we understand that, what about medical assistance in countries like Doctors Without Borders, et cetera? I think it's a little different because I think that, of course, it would be far more desirable for countries to be able to advance and develop and sustain their own systems of medicine and being able to treat disease, prevent disease, and administer medicine on their own. However, there is a more long-term benefit to coming in and bringing in Doctors Without Borders or medical care or vaccines or whatever, insofar as if you're saving people from death, from preventable disease by sending vaccines from another country, for example, you now have a much larger population base that can innovate and can work and can purchase, et cetera, et cetera. So missionary doctors, I did disagree with in principle because you're sort of manipulating people and you're saying, hey, we're here to save you. And by the way, we're really here. It's not actually just the vaccines or the treatment or the technology we bring, but it's also Jesus or, Mormonism or whatever the case may be. So I don't like the idea of missionary doctors. To the extent that any doctors are willing to go and provide medical services, I think that's a good thing. But from a sort of a cultural perspective, I don't like the whole missionary doctor thing. I'll give you a vaccine and tell you about Jesus Christ.